Hello, welcome to the fastest super course on storytelling on social media you're ever going to see. My name is Jack Appleby. I've worked in social strategy for the better part of 15 years now, and am now a full-time content creator who has a true belief that you can tell an entire story, a full narrative with 3x structures and setups and conflicts and resolutions in a single Instagram reel or TikTok or pick your short form content of choice. So for the next 15 minutes, I'm going to share how I think about this, a little bit about my background, and how you as a creator can start applying short form storytelling to increase your views, increase your relationship with your audience, and just generally get bigger on social media. So a little background on my journey. I make marketing content full time now. Worked for some of the biggest brands in tech for many years, leading their social media strategy. Now I write my own newsletter called Future Social and post content on LinkedIn and Twitter, which can get a little monotonous even though I do love it. So just for fun, I thought that I would document my adult basketball comeback, make some videos, no strategy at first, just wanted to make content I loved. And then the third video I ever made went viral. And making short form storytelling content changed my life over the last 2 years. You've seen sports creators, it's lots of fancy highlights and accomplishments and let's say like 6-second clips. I started making full narratives about my adult basketball journey. Started out as a 36-year-old washed up ex-college player trying to get it back, where in each 60 to 90-second video, I would tell you about whatever injuries I was trying to overcome, what training I was doing to solve that, or how I played in my rec league game that week, and really developed a narrative that my followers could latch on to, root for, and want to be part of. But then my storytelling expanded to some of the photos you're seeing here. That picture of me and the three guys, the yellow basketballs, that's us in Brazil because I started my own professional basketball team that I funded myself. It's not millions of dollars. And I decided to document that whole process. Took us around the country, winning small games, then bigger tournaments, until the official governing body of 3x3 basketball invited us to another country. Or how about this picture directly above my head? That's me guarding a 7-foot NBA center who almost dunked on me. And I documented how I was training to play against a 7-footer, even though I'm 36 years old. Or how about this one right here? I played in the Basketball Hall of Fame, and my name's there now. Another stat you can see right here. I've generated 9 million views in the last 2 weeks with only 180,000 followers because I'm telling you stories that bring you back, that make you want to root for my content. And you don't know this. We're actually celebrating right now. The day before I'm recording this, I hit 100,000 followers on my Instagram account for basketball called How to Hoop Forever. And now there are two versions of me on the internet. You get How to Hoop Forever, this guy holding the ball. That has 180,000 followers across Instagram and TikTok. And then the other version of me, the reason I usually speak at Adobe events is because I write about marketing, where I have 230,000 followers across Twitter, LinkedIn, and my newsletter. So truly, I believe you can be whatever kind of creator you want if you learn how to tell a story. But that's enough about me. I want to get into the actual meat of this conversation. So you probably think of short form content as 6 to 15 second, maybe 30-second videos. Like we really put the short in short form too much of the time. My belief is that you should be telling true narrative structures within your content because of the relationship it can build with your followers, because of the reason it can get people to come back. So what we're looking at here is your typical 3-act structure that would be true of any TV episode or movie or play or pick your media format. What we're going to talk about for the rest of this chat is how to apply this structure to any piece of content you make. And we'll get into the whys within that. So in the social media world, when we translate setup and conflict and resolution, let's give them the terms that we've all started to learn, whether we're creators Googling how to be a creator or things we just see around the internet. So setup, what does that mean for content? You need a great hook. I'm not breaking new ground by saying that. You're aware that what you do in the first 3 seconds are probably the most important piece of moments within your content. Secondly, you need real depth. And this is something I'm going to really emphasize to you today. You got to be able to get something really meaty in there that people are excited to be part of. It's not just flashes of life. It's a big portion of your life. So people want to relate back to you. And then finally, We have resolution, but I'm sure you watch every TV show and see how many cliffhangers there are now to get you to watch the next episode, whether it's a crime drama or even your favorite sitcom. So we're going to talk about forming cliffhangers and what that will do for your content. As you can see, I'm using emojis to make this as simple of a presentation as possible. Let's start off by talking about the setup, which includes brainstorming ideas, how you hook a viewer, and just how to judge whether your content's the right idea. First up, you need a story hook. You know you need a hook. Again, we've already talked about this. But what is the hook that's going to cause somebody to not only watch that piece of content, but watch you long term? What's a hook that relates back to a larger series or a theme that someone can keep coming back to you for? Where if they tell your friends, hey, I've been watching this content creator and they do this kind of thing. For me on How to Hoop Forever, what I do is I have an overall theme called I'm a 36-year-old washed up ex-college player trying to get it back. But then I introduce series hooks that'll be important for each individual video, as well as for, let's say, a 10 video arc where you're finding out if I can accomplish something. Let's take that storyline of I started my own professional basketball team. That's a crazy sentence. That's something no one knows how to do, no one's ever done. I knew that would have some viral potential there because you just go like, huh? I want to watch what this is. And then when we get into the rest of the video, I start to pull you in. So you keep coming back for the hook of, I started my own professional basketball team, or how am I paying professional basketball players, or how am I recruiting guys to my pro basketball team? So those are idea hooks or story hooks. But we need to talk about audio visual hooks as well, because attention spans are just disastrous right now. And when someone's scrolling their phone, you have a split second chance to get their attention before they keep scrolling and thumbing up to the next piece of content. So whereas we used to talk about, oh, what's your hook in the first 3 seconds? Now it's, what is your story hook? What is your idea hook? What is the visual hook that's on the screen? Do you have a lot of action happening? Is your face close and center? What are you doing to draw the eye in? As well as what is the audio hook? How are you avoiding the millennial pause? Make sure your audio starts right away. Are you using music or no music? Is it strictly VO? These are all things you need to think about within the first 3 seconds of your content if you want to get someone to the next 60 to 90 seconds. And what's new and what I think is really important is one hook's just really not enough anymore. You need extra hooks within your content. The first viral series I ever made for my How to Hoop Forever page, I went and played in a 3x3 tournament for a professional basketball team. And my hook was, I'm playing in, insert their name here, 3x3 basketball tournament with 2 strangers who I've never met before for the chance to win $2,000 and the chance to play for their minor league basketball team. This isn't one hook. I am hitting you with so many different reasons why you should watch that content, because that's just the stakes of all of this stuff now. I got to give you lots of reasons to not scroll past me. So don't be afraid to not only use one hook, but several hooks. How do I get you from the first 3 seconds to the next 3 seconds to the next 3 seconds after that? Now, as we get into the depth of your content, the conflict of it all, there's an idea here that I think is so important for creators. You need to be worth rooting for. What are you portraying to your audience that makes them hope that you succeed, want to see more of you? You can't just be cool. You can't just be someone fashionable. You got to be a little relatable. And again, give them reason to like you. For my own content, this is where I talk very vulnerably about what it's like to be a mid-30s athlete and how hard it can be, how many injuries set me back. I made a video update this week about how my shooting is some of the best that it's ever been right now, but I still have trouble driving to the basket because of my back issues. And that turned into a lot of people commenting, don't worry, man, you'll get over it. Or dads saying like, living vicariously through you, like can't wait to see where you play next. I'm giving them reasons that are both relatable and then training tips on how to be a better 30-year-old athlete. So they're excited to root for me, which leads into this whole idea of you need to be loved. So now you've hooked someone into the video. They're like, okay, I'm going to continue to see what this piece of content's about. What are we going to do to keep them there, keep them through completion of the video, and keep them coming to the next part as well when you launch another video for this? So you need to be loved. We just hit that pretty hard with the idea of worth being rooting for. You need to have stakes is another important piece. I learned this from actual podcast recorders. What makes a great piece of content? It's when it has stakes. It's when there's something at risk or something you're trying to accomplish. Can go into your brainstorming for your hooks as well. The stakes for me and most of my content, these are my last chances to live my basketball dreams. The stakes for I want to play professional basketball for the first time at 36 years old is my injuries might stop me. Overtraining in my 9 to 5 job might stop me. How am I going to convince a professional basketball team to let me play for them? I introduce all those stakes because challenges aren't bad things. It's relatable. We all have challenges in our everyday life. And they're trying to fight through challenges and overcoming challenges and even failing in those challenges is really relatable content that will make people follow your journey. I mentioned my basketball content. I document a lot of the games that I play. I show you the losses too. I made a video where I talked about how a guy scored 13 3-pointers against us. That video did 2 million views. And obviously, I did not look my best in that video. We got destroyed by another team. But what it did do was give people the chance to see that I can be really honest with myself. So in the next video, when I had a triple-double and we got our first win of the season, so many more people were around to watch that accomplishment story. And what you're probably hearing within all of this is the need to develop the stories. So I'm giving you the 3X structure, but within the middle of your content, what are you doing to keep people pulling along here? For a basketball game for me, I can do it pretty chronologically. I might say, in the first 3 minutes of the game, I hit 4 3-pointers and we went up. But then the other team fired back at us, and suddenly it's a tie game, and the next team to lose the game has to go home after this. I'm giving you more hooks, more depth, and more stakes within my content, even at the 30-second mark, to keep you at the edge of your seat. That's the right phrase for this. How are you going to keep your users at the edge of their seat? It's by continuing to develop the story and giving twists and turns that matter to the tale. And finally, back to cliffhangers. You need to give someone a reason to return. And this is why I believe in series content so much. I want you to come see my video. I want you to see that I'm trying to accomplish something in a first piece. And then I want you to come back to see if I can continue on my overall journey. This isn't just done within the last seconds of the video. This is not, and come back next video for this, although that's something you can do. This is introducing ideas that do have long-term value, so people do continue to come back. Now you're watching the digital version, so I wish I could answer some questions for you. But if you'd like to talk to me further, you can always reach me online. I'm at How to Hoop Forever on Instagram for basketball content. Or if you want the social strategist version of me, look me up as Jack Appleby on LinkedIn or Twitter, or my newsletter, Future Social, that comes out every week teaching social media strategy. But genuinely, I hope you have an incredible takeaway from this, that storytelling could change your content creator life forever. I hope you add depth to your content. I hope you see how it can generate more views and more love from your audience and build a business that's just going to continue to grow and grow.